Some kind of inane pinball theme, probably related to Messina during the DeLorean age. The history themes are the worst.
Deora was one of the 3 crown cities of the DeLorean era. On the Mawin, the lieutenant grimaces looking at the machines.
No, I love it. I love pinball. Who doesn't love pinball? Let's move on.
He doesn't.
No. You can't fire them up. They are broken. Only that one...
What a dumb name. Royalist Pinball. If they weren't broken, he would kick one of these machines about now. Kim, Pinball, Kitsuragi. Exactly. That's what he's known as. His reputation precedes him.
So now he remembers. Fine, I'm Kim Pinball Kitsuragi, aka the Kimball. You remembered. Congratulations. Wonderful. He only remembers hearing about the pinball policeman. No human being should. It is a game that requires no skill and a childlike affinity to flashing lights and to fantastic, science fiction, and historic romance franchise. It is lame. I am not called Pinball. It was used to taunt me a long time ago, before I became a homicide detective and got my lieutenancy. Fine. I was a juvenile police officer for over 15 years. It's how I started out in the RCM. Once I had to infiltrate a pinball ring, as you do when you're a juvie cop. It was not okay. I needed to become a pinball champion. I trained for 9 months. The job was successful and I was moved out of the juvenile wing to homicide. End of story. That time is over now. I was already a 38-year-old man. It was unbecoming, as was playing pinball.
So that's why he doesn't want to talk to Kuno. Trauma and stressor disorder from being a juvie cop.
It's best if you handle the juvenile delinquents. Lieutenant Kitsuragi is good too. Now, we really need to continue our sweep of what appears to be a secret path through the whirling.
Over there, in the corner. Not just any pinball machine. This is the pinnacle of pinball. Cornelius Gordy and the Mountain Goats. It's lit. You can't wait to get your hands on it. Lit. A phrase almost synonymous with the Insulindian pinball scene.
The pinball machine. Gordy's Goats. A classic.
Oh, it's more than just a classic. A must-play. All serious pinballers have attempted a tempo run. The greats, like Gottwald's Knut Smelling and Jürgen Sternemann. Mesk pinball
A little.
feels like a lot. Too much.
Ah, great.
Cornelius Gordy, get the game on, Fingerboy. Those flippers are ready. Over there, not lit, afraid.
Ah, great.
Cornelius Gordy, get the game on, Fingerboy. Those flippers are ready. Above the painting of a mustached man climbing a hill, the theme of the game is to explore the peak areas around the playfield. Indeed, think of them. It takes a while to get into a rhythm, but pretty soon, go, Fingerboy.
I feel sorry for the goats. If they only knew the kind of guy old Cornelius really was. An avid huntsman too. He was often photographed in his dining hall. He also hit his wife and kid.
That's what they should have turned into a pinball game.
But you seem to be having fun.
Your game is definitely improving. The jolly goats are flying all over the board. And although a few plummet to their deaths, you're never left with less than 3. Natural selection. Suddenly, a special passage, maneuvering a goat ball into a position. Tiny hammer shatters an ampoule. The last one. The words "pale rupture" light up on the speaker.
Congratulations. This is where the game ends. It's a cheap way of getting more money or the...
There's so much fog, you can barely see any. Lucky goats. The fog looks soft and inviting. This can be navigated. The balls leave almost imperceptible disruptions in the fog. Use them to calculate where they hit next. Hit the pads as fast as you can. Maximum attack. Not even a bullet can get through. The amount of focus it takes to predict when a ball goat is in striking range is staggering, but it can be done. Focus. You're down to your last goat, going mostly by sound. Eyes are useless at this point, but that goat is something special. 5 times you snatch him back from the jaws of death. You're in a perfectly balanced system where neither you nor the pal is able to get the upper hand. This could go on forever.
I am. I've seen it before. Played it too. You will eventually make a mistake and then it's all over.
Only the tension in his posture betrays his interest. With automation-like precision, you keep the final goat ball in play, reacting to the tiniest stimuli, floating in the flow state. The fog is clearing, and suddenly, the old speaker crackles. Gaudy ball is lit.
Huh?
A panel opens up at the top of the playfield, and a new ball charges downhill. It's larger than the goats and matte black. Cornelius spell the white letters running across the equator. So violent is its descent, it immediately knocks the last goat into the abyss. Then proceeds to bounce all across the board as if carried by some demonic otherworldly inertia. High score, announce the speakers, and the whole machine lights up. Then the flippers retract, leaving a perfect opening for the gaudy ball to join the goats backstage. Cornelius vanishes, and the machine powers off.
That's amazing. You didn't just win. No one I know has ever beaten Gordy's goats. That is a monumental achievement, Detective. Congratulations, Your Highness. That was really impressive. The machine needs a good service before anyone else can even attempt it again. You didn't just win. No one... Those are professional tempo runners. They are paid 4 figures per game. I meant normal human beings. The machine needs a good service before anyone else can even attempt it again. Yes. Good times.
Once again, the machine becomes one with the dust and the darkness. Life has left it, unlikely to ever return. This small element smells of the maintenance card under the control panel reads, "Last maintenance."
That it does. I say, let's brave it. No, it was maintained in 88 of the previous century. Look on the bright side. If it fails, we will only sustain minor injuries.
It appears his whole enthusiasm is sarcastic. There are large... A small steel plaque reads,
Seems like a small freight elevator for transporting machinery. For that... That's true, then our cafe... He does not appear...
"Stupid superstition. It's not a ghost story. It's..." clearly...
Jackpot. These, unlike everything else here,
This is so good.
it was a stereo investigation after all. It has now converged with our main investigation, adding a new fact to consider. It means someone snuck through what seems like a secret route.
Large prints. One person has been here. This print is unlike one left by a regular worker boot. Shoe size is 41. Of course. Damn.
The size looks about the same, actually. They're not the same shoe, but they could be the same person. Between that and that. No, these little...
Everything around you is quiet. The door is small.
Unless we veered off into a folded M dimension, I'm expecting to step out on the roof.
Folded M dimension. Yes, it is quite likely that we will.
Welcome to the roof.
Her hair, below her silver, then toned.
I'm sorry for the mess down there. The cleaning lady hasn't come by in days. It's much nicer.
Where the dead body,
Thank you for...
there is something in her light brown eyes. A sadness.
Oh, yes. Legends of room number 1 have made their way. They also say that's why the cleaning...
I'm Kim Kitsuragi.
This does not come as good news to him.
Have I ever? This is the biggest fan of ostentatious orchestrations I have seen in my life. And I have seen a few. Oh, yeah. Life gets hard, but we go on.
The chorus of the 35 single, megaphoning the entire human race, instills you with the fuck it all swagger that prompts one to plow into grannies on your morning stroll.
I can see that. I'm glad all this...
Miss, we are investigating the murder of the man.
Huh.
Be careful. Ask something else first. When you... No need to dilly-dally. She's tough. You sound like a namby-pamby. Coach Physical Instrument is overdoing it. Even by my standards. Say something else.
Klaasje Amandu.
Same name that Titus gave you. Her birthmarks also signal Oranje. You don't know why, but Oranese girls tend to come speckled with them.
I'm 28. Something stupid.
Wanna hear? His partner, Emil Mullins, can't be there. He's in another apartment with another man who's showing him a dead dog under the radiator. It's dead. He's warm, Mullins replies, because he's under the radiator.
No. More stupid. Oranese literature. It's what I studied at the Fear Fail.
What about Revacholian literature? People sometimes reveal things about themselves.
No. Revacholian Lit is about how magnificent and serious Revachol is. It's about how you have to save the world. Strange. Usually the Revacholian hero does not save women.
She seems quite relaxed for a victim of assault. But, of course, what seems...
Right, sir. The
The victim's ethnicity could have been...
a bad memory
The Republic of Oranje is a democratic nation on the...
of lilacs and lightning.
What's so bad about that?
Nothing. If you're no longer there.
The conference centers are filled with people who get angry at you if you do something.
Sooner or later, everyone does. I'm afraid you can't.
Why is that?
Because it's buried in a sealed plastic bag at an undisclosed location on the coast, along with cash and airline tickets.
Thank you for your candor. Huh? Why?
They say so in your tourist brochure. Keep travel documents away from your person when west of the river. Okie dokie.
If any of this made her nervous, it certainly doesn't show in her expression or her movements.
The record. So official. Yeah. I'm winter.
How long?
About 4 months. I came in here in the Whirling, here in Martinez, or here in Revachol. Came to see the new.
This is by far not the only reason she's here.
It turned out to be a Zarath infested.
Called Ilmara, and it didn't.
I did not. Mystery solved.
There may be more to this mystery at some later time.
A peephole? You mean like a hole in the wall?
Yes. Look in.
Okay.
A jitter of fear and disgust moves through.
Do you think this is somehow connected to me? Okay. Do you
Unfortunately, no. But if I were to guess long enough, the perforation is...
Shit. I don't know.
She does. She must have some idea.
I'll be fucking covering it up with a lot of tape, that's for sure. Was there anything else back there? Huh.
She's straight as she feels like quarry, in circle.
Okay. I'm glad someone's had... Honestly.
Yet, maybe it's something she's keeping for a later move.
Mm-hmm.
She's lost in thought,
Okay.
watching herself reflected in the bedroom window, tall and sparkling and draped in smoke.
Something difficult? It's a bit early in the morning for rape.
She sounds positively buoyant, vivacious, totally unbothered.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with not raped. Tell them it's not my style.
It's all very organic. By they, she means the Hardy Boys.
Are you saying that you were asked to tell us you were assaulted?
Not explicitly, but I understood what they meant. It wouldn't hurt to spice things up a bit. Some assault and battery. Sexual. Pretty much.
Warming them. She must be very cold. Warming up your hands.
I'm 89% sure. You know how it is.
You do know how it is.
Maybe you don't.
There are numerous
In conclusion, officer, I'm gonna go with a mild to medium not raped here.
I'm sorry, miss, but
Let me make this 100%.
You get the feeling she might be.
We partied. A lot of...
From Titus. About her.
With all due respect, sir, I think we partied a little harder than that. Oh, it is.
what did you do?
We drank.
What else?
Whoa. After so much drinking and drugs, how did they manage it?
Untraditionally, officer.
She's cold and strange. I'm not picking anything up here. Your imagination starts whirring, whether you want it.
I guess you can say that, yes.
How did you two meet?
Downstairs. At the bar.
She with longing.
When was this?
A month ago? Something like that. Oh, yes.
A bitter cream. He takes
You called her.
Yes.
a jackpot.
I made it. And I would appreciate it if you didn't tell.
Reporting crimes is confidential in Revachol, miss.
Because I couldn't handle it anymore. None of these people called.
Tearing off his armor, demeaning him, throwing rocks at.
I didn't exactly disguise it. I just muffled the mic and nicked the landline a little. With nail clippers. And I diverted
Which land?
the one downstairs.
That's some clever tampering. Simple and clever. Crossing the lines like.
Thanks.
She looks a bit like a little girl.
I don't know, sir. It was...
We're not entirely convinced about that answer, but okay. Let it slide. Pushing won't.
Thank you for making the call, miss. It was the right thing to do.
I didn't want to, sir. But if I hadn't, you'd still... I'm sorry,
I know it.
She meant she sees him in her dream.
You have?
She sees them in each other's arms.
Oh, yes. He had something to do with the strike. One has been roiling since I got here.
And his role in this...
I think he was in a security detail. He was ex-military.
And the lynch...
She nods.
I'm sorry.
I know.
She meant
You have?
she sees them
Yes. And then he's dead.
agape, ready to catch a bullet. She dips the cigarette in.
I can see the similarity.
Funny.
Funny how?
Nothing. I also saw him. We had a long inspection and that sort of thing sticks with you. Let's move on.
In my dream, he thinks, he said, I failed his children. You glance at the lieutenant, then back to her.
Bullet? They shot him too?
I'm not picking up on any theatercraft here, sir. The pause is...
They stripped his clothes and they shot him?
You mean after they hanged him?
I'm confused.
So am I.
Things are starting to go a little over my head here. I thought he was hanged.
This is beginning to get confusing for you.
Cowering? I was cowering downstairs with Sylvie. They're frequent guests. Over drinks.
Like you part...
No,
I'm sorry.
I have. Which ones?
Could that have been part of the reason they hanged him?
I hope not. Actually, I know that's men.
She changes balance from one foot to another, crossing her legs. She breathes.
Should we head by downstairs, officer? We may have things to discuss.
Just as you look at the flowers, a gust of wind raises them from the roof. You catch a single white flower between your fingers. The rest fly off into the wind. The young woman looks at the maid. The lieutenant gives you an acknowledging little...
Looks like we have more to discuss with those so-called hardy boys. Half their reasoning just went out the wind. Nothing will make them respect the RCM, but it will disrupt the game they prepared for us. We just tripped off one leg. What else could she have done? Lie? She saw there was no way to...
You would have caught it.
If not you, then me. It was a smart move from her. You think so? She seems forthcoming. The best liars are always forthcoming.
This medicine cap, it's been used, but not for scrubbing. It's clean of chemical odors too. Just some dried toothpaste on the handle. This toothbrush belongs to someone who doesn't. Pharmaceuticals line the shelf.
Anything of note?
Pill bottles. Nacra. This is used to treat opioid overdoses. Always handy to have around.
Interesting. That's used for diamorphine overdoses.
You could say he's on the lookout. Among some foreign, probably Messinian or Gotwaldian, marked red blister packs, a bright orange bottle with Preptide stamped on it, in sunny, happy letters. Jackpot, babe.
Preptide, a euphemism for pharmaceutical and...
The fuck are you waiting for? It's speed, man. Just what you were looking for. They call it dextroamphetamine and talk about cycle. Silently, the bottle slides into your palm. Then, as you turn, into your pocket. Feels so sleek and beautiful. You got it. Here comes the afterburn. Kim also tries not to look at the pile of tape viscera on the carpet. The man is finding it hard not to trip on the tape and not to send any of the... where unidentifiable sludge makes it hard for him to breathe. Smells of vomit in here. He nods.
No problem, officer.
The bed is still cold from... A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with... The faucet is quite... You handle the chain cutters deftly, applying just enough pressure. Told you that you... The mirror begins to clear slowly without you having to wipe it. It's like something snaps in you. A nerve just like that.
Can I help you? Got the 20 real? Good. You got the room for the night, but remember, you'll need...
How could any... Take it easy on him. You know, there might be other...
Another thing. Great. I love those. What are you, a cook now? That's none of your business. He wasn't pan-fried. He was lynched. What could the kitchen... Fine. Okay. The kitchen is closed. Why? No, fuck it.
He really doesn't like it being classier.
Yeah, neither do I. Thank you for telling me, I guess. Good thing she pays for her stuff on time. I'll forward her the bill and be done with it.
Sounds like she has money tucked away somewhere. Enough to be a stable...
Oh, okay. Well, I did hear you make noise back there.
He's really holding... It takes a lot of...
Okay, what is back there? Yes, haha. What's actually behind there? Ha! I knew it. I knew it. Were there any back there? In working order, I mean. No, I was just...
He was wondering about something business-related. About how much money he...
No, it wouldn't hurt to get...
Yeah, sounds like he cares about the place. He should still know. You have to be forewarned.
What?
So he knows of the doomed commercial area.
I've been working here for a long time, and that intercom has never been used by the Whirling. Does this look like part of a for 14?
He's done a fine job too.
Yeah, even if it is part of the damn doomed commercial area. I don't place much stock in the curse and so on, but, well, it sure as hell wasn't the real estate company.
It was you?
You look surprised. What? It's a great name, I know. Cafeteria managers come up with great names too. It's from a song. Hail, Holy Queen, by
Good pick.
some real...
There is an acrimonious note. It's clear he's doing the real work around.
Luck has got nothing to do with it.
Against the doom, it's implied.
So, if you didn't have anything else to tell... What wall? I'll have it fixed at once. Thank you for letting me know. I assure you, the Whirling doesn't...
The color has drained. What a shame to fix such a good peephole.
Thank you. I'll patch it up personally. Yes?
Just a moment.
She's...
And there's...
The closest phone...
It's fine.
The lady is distressed. Perhaps something more upbeat might cheer her up.
Please don't trouble yourself.
A faint.
The union office probably has a phone, but I can't really...
No, mister.
Till it, I was...
A little... You hear that? Someone's missing. That's right. Now skip the foreplay. Time...
That's just...
Cold...
But you have...
More important than a missing expedition? I don't know. Expeditions often...
Just so... But they should have returned by... Oh, sweetie. Gary's as loyal as they come. I trust him with my husband. I doubt it.
Do it. Yes, please. Some science fiction...
Are you sure we have time to go chasing after bug hunters just now? I did suggest we play it cool, but... If you say so.
Oh, thank you, officers. Truly, I'll be... Oh,
It's
that's...
She's used to playing off such insults, Cat.
my apologies, ma'am.
It's searching for such species called...
The quality of research at Revacholian universities, she's completely internalized her husband's struggles. Sometimes the most...
I suppose you could...
One cryptid, like you said. One. This can't turn into some kind of cryptid extravaganza. We have things to do. And I don't. Just one.
Or he'll be disappointed in you. Ooh, tough choice there.
What an
Of course. All fairy tales have someone or something invisible in them.
It's the Col de Mama d'Aqua.
Col de Mama d'Aqua can also be translated as...
Yes, that's another translation. They're both quite... Although the low part is...
Fine, I'll bite. How can an...
Many scientists have asked the same question.
Maybe.
It's...
I wouldn't be so sure. What if the...
That is a sad story. They try...
This lady... Psst, you have no clue.
Exactly. And these tests were performed...
Great regret.
After that...
Of course. A common thread.
I'm glad you did, dear. When the scientists soon
She transforms.
they realized that... Sequester, time, Joss can't... What about what?
Hey, you promised you'd only ask about one cryptid. I'm glad you see it that way. Did we have anything more to do here?
Oh, sweetie, it's fascinating.
The lieutenant gives you a sideways glance.
Well,
Ah, yes. Phasmatopia. A diver... Oh, yeah. Here comes the interesting...
where other phasmids imitate sticks, hence its name, the...
There's a touch of awe in the way she enunciated the creature.
I knew it. We're gonna be chasing...
It's not made up of...
There's a hint.
It's simply elusive. Well, some teenagers making out in the reed saw one. They didn't know what it was.
Interesting. Maybe the phasmid made the teenagers make out.
I doubt it. It's not like teenagers need much encouragement in that regard. Of course, most Phasmid sightings turn out to be false alarms, but their description matched the Insul Indian Phasmid perfectly, and they didn't even know what they were looking at.
Enthusiasm has wiped the worry from her face. Her eyes sparkle behind her glasses.
I suppose I have something of a personal connection to the Insul Indian Phasmid. All scientists have their little hobby horses. Not at all. Why? Oh, I doubt it. No one gets into crypto. Yes, it can blend.
That's not special at all. Of course it blends in.
Oh, dear. Morel can explain it all. Oh, dear. I'm not sure.
You can't go. It's always a challenge to describe the person you know best in the world.
Oh, well, he's a bit shorter than you.
The lieutenant pulls out.
One other thing, he'll likely have all kinds of... We'll be celebrating our via dating agency, I'm ashamed to say. I was looking to get back into the sea. We hit it off, and
She's skipping over some important parts.
I hope I've been useful.
The clowns are still hanging around. What is it now? Fuck! I knew that.
You've hit a nerve.
For the record, Titus Hardy did not explicitly specify the victim as a whore, nor did he say anything about trusting her.
Oh, shut up and stay out of this, Liz.
She's just in the night.
Yeah, she...
This is a diversion. Stay on track.
She wasn't raped. The witnesses' statements were very clear.
Lawman, I'm at the end of my...
His hands become...
And you went and pushed.
Hit you. Duck.
Titus Hardy!
Success. Titus, goddamn, no one tells you to put...
Everard, personal.
When she's angry, she emphasizes the S. It gives her voice. Frankly, it's a bit terrifying. Someone has to rush in to break...
Look, Copper. We know that that fuck was a rapist. Show it to him, T.
Here, jerk.
This is their last play, this tape. Their story is in tatters, a mess. It might be nice to listen to.
What's on it?
Now, that door gun is a gun mounted to the door of a transport.
You don't care about it.
Fix, T.
I won't be on.
There's a lot of questions. If you ask them now, they'll just keep bringing...
Don't forget your tape, lawman. Compliment. You do that. Oh.
I've got nothing to say to you. Why are you wasting your time?
Six crumbling.
This is the insulin.
This flout.
The big political enemy. The revolution. It's about girls. Yes, but not this early. Maybe. Maybe not.
The petals. Water flows under the channel bridge. Inland. The wrinkle. The bullet is still safe.
Okay. And? What's your best guess? An antique? That makes sense. There can't be many breech-loading rifles. I have to hand it to the monarchs. It's quite admirable. Some new RCM recruits get...
Prohibiting peacetime law enforcement to front-loaded rifles is a policy enforced by the Moralist International.
Imagine if every... But back to the investigation. Let's find out. Next step, finding the gun itself.
Was that? Could it be? The Col de Mama Dakwa? No, it's probably just your imagination. There seems Lena, honestly, your ear.
No, I don't.
Of course he doesn't. He's deaf. There it is again. Yeah, it must be. Keep still. What are you doing? Oh no, no. Too late. So it does. It's... The afternoon sun shimmers off the white on blue. Do something important? Something. This is a Caprice Kanema with its air-cooled, rear-mounted 12-cylinder compression ignition engine driving the rear wheels through a 4-speed manual gearbox. The high center of balance is offset by a large battery bank mounted at the bottom of the cabin, feeding all the auxiliary systems and making the Kanema effectively. Due to a quite steep price tag, it is very unusual to see one in police livery.
You want to take a closer look? 130.
I reckon that's a 7-liter V12 there. Man, that's got to be a major advancement over the KR18GU engine on the old Caprice 40.
Yeah, you know it? Yes, that's right. I'm very impressed that you know these things.
I reckon, man, that's got to be a
Yeah, okay, that's confusing. 100.
I reckon, man, that's got...
7.2. Supercharged.
Saying these words brings him immense joy.
100.
I reckon, man, that's...
You lost me there. The kinema is fast.
Armel Ryu, super...
You mean the coil noise?
Come on, you know how... He stares at you, intrigued. This is your chance to impress the lieutenant.
The resulting vibration creates the whining sound. That's right. Very impressive.
There's respect in that curious look.
You mean...
Come on, he stared. This is your chance to impress the lieutenant.
Basically, yes. Although it's mostly about frequency range, not the wires making bwee sounds. Still, I'm impressed.
There's respect in that curious look.
Yes. An extraordinary machine.
It's nice and all, but why so? Helium headlights would improve the range and quality of the visual. It's a bit girly right now. Fit it with some proper off-road components.
Actually, I have a pair at home. Just haven't gotten around to fitting them yet. I need to lay some wiring for the ballast first. You want to help? Thank you for the offer. That might be fun. Let's do the case first, though, alright?
He liked the idea.
Hang on. You are telling me you remember all these little mechanical details, but you have trouble remembering your name? Strange, but plausible, I guess. I guess you're a bit of a torque dog too.
He seems to like the idea. The ship takes off like a silver.
Yes? Me?
She doesn't. Is she such a working class woman? Why?
Looking for something to read. It is. I know you are. What with?
What with? This citizen, help her by...
My husband? I don't know.
Where is this going, officer?
Yes, but no. Why are we still...
She has, though. The husband is totally lost. You should tell her.
What? Who said anything about Shane?
But he is. You can feel it. Or maybe it's...
No, absolutely. Are you? They are not missing, sir.
You know where they are. What if something... No, they're at a disco. Getting down. Stupid disco dancing teenagers.
What? That's just...
She's getting upset.
They're almost grown up.
What is this doubt you have then?
My youngest girl, Jo. Why do you need to know this?
Did someone say party? You could use a party. Hunt it down.
There is no...
Okay, it must be asked then.
I don't mean...
For what it's worth, I agree. But cockatoos can't be stopped when they get like this. It's better to indulge him at this point.
Nothing. Go read up.
Maybe you should. What?
Wonderful. The story is open.
Her hands move over the... Another comrade. Years of labor are pressing down on her shoulders. An array of neurons fire up with joy. Bum her a cigarette, lest it turn to pain.
No, I don't. My husband? I don't...
Where is this going with...
Yes, but... No. Of course.
She has, though. The husband is totally lost.
What?
She tries to concentrate. Okay, maybe it's something else then. The woman...
Hello, sir. How is the investigation going? Found... Oh, that's great. I hope exciting event... Oh, that's Auntie Billy. No, I think she is a bad husband. Not very nice or helpful. No, sir, I can't. It would be too tiring to refrain from it. It's already tiring enough to remember to say it all the time. It's nice of you to say I could stop, though. That's a friendly enough face, most of the time. No, sir. Yes, sir.
My husband? Excuse me.
She doesn't mean to be antagonistic, but she can't help coming off defensive.
Is she now? Annette's a sweet sprout, but she doesn't know anything about marriage. Why am I even talking about this? No, I don't.
He's totally missing.
I don't...
Where is this going with...
Yes, no. Why...
She has, though.
What? Who said...
But he is. You can feel it. The woman before you. Talk, dog. You're elbow deep in there now, in what seems to be a motor carriage, a Capri 40. The hood's off in your mind's eye, and you're listening. There's that clicky noise. Are the rod bearings already done for? Well, if the head's coming off, you might as well get that new twin-scroll turbo with the magnesium manifold installed. Some would say it's overkill to put 200 big ones under that. But this needs to be solid, so the rear... Hey, what were we talking about again? What were we doing? see a set of tattered curtains block. You see a dimly lit room full.
Oh!
The display rack is. This is entire.
Oh, man from Hyundai. Blood and violence. Scantily clad. What does it matter? They're all the same. If you're a novice of the series, I'd recommend Hyundalaman. The man from Hyundal. It's supposed to be a...
Rows and rows of him, maybe 100. Man from Hyam, those snow crabs are not even close. Man from Hyamdal, a twinge at the back of your head. Your hand reaches toward a book with glossy cover art of the very muscular. She's laughing at him. Between the throne and the Hyamdala man lies a bonfire, casting shadows on the wall. The display rack before you is burdened under piles of Man from Hyamdal novels.
Oh yes, certainly. Another good sale. It is a bestseller for a reason.
A small mountain.
Wonderful board games. Browbritter is a fun game of...
Who are you going to play board games with? Are you actually friends? Or just colleagues thrown together by circumstance?
Friends are technically like... For playing with friends, I'd recommend... Lousy auras there. No, I've heard they turn people into occult enthusiasts.
An endless variety. There's also books in a board games. There's a box that says Wirral 3rd edition mega set. That price is steep, but then nonsense for anemic Beano clods.
Wonderful choice, sir. A whole... If you say so, but you better stay away from those immoral occult rituals.
A couple of spook notes.
Oh, you're a...
Sex note. Reading about Dick Mullin would not actually make you a better detective. Crime. Furthermore, they have no idea how hard it is to simply remove a body from a tree. What's more, they completely ignore the psychological hardships of year after year coming into contact with people during the worst days of their lives. Not a single mention of all the stress this work creates upon the officer. You see, a killing is declared. Oh no, yes, tragedy, come on. This is not the way.
Come on, Chester. Tell
again? Man, I tell that
the fuck it is. And these guys have...
Gosh, why?
A very...
Yeah, sure came close.
After all this, you still haven't found... Your quick eye notices a worn paperback from Dick Mullin's classic, Hard-Boiled. Could it be the motifs of unstable identities? Then this is the book for you.
Of course. Such...
A sulfur-crested cockatoo sits on the cover.
It's a must-have if you own a cockatoo. I've heard they're quite capricious.
You wait for the storekeeper. It's quite a challenge. Shelves full of biographies of...
A true cultural...
Several... The maps look old and faded. This bookstore is not...
I can't have you...
Amidst the point of the book, it serves platitudes, while also telling everyone that traditional medicine, the kind people don't have access to, and which costs wholeness, unity, when it's up to your mind, it's your own fault if you're ill. The book features chapters on topics such as how to find magnesium. There's even a chapter on the ancient Seraïs tradition of using... This is just mundane garbage. What's even paranatural about this? The throbbing in your... Suddenly, as if out of nowhere, the book contains, for example, even better if you can find someone else, preferably a large man dressed in nothing but a towel, to thrash you while you're spread naked and helpless on a cool slab. It is, and good for the circulation. It also recommends, among other benefits, that seems improbable. Is it any more improbable than anything else? For general health, these strolls promise to cleanse the mind. This is exactly what you need. Entroponetic nudism. There's an entire section devoted to cures for men who are struggling to perform. You close the book and return it to it.
Indeed. Something about that book does seem to have spoken to you. Well, I hope it contains what you're looking for.
Hello again, sir.
The woman. You step in and close your arms.
What is happening?
She seems to be confused. Your hands are wrapped around her poly. She steps back and returns her attention to books. You step.
What is...
The situation is oddly intimate.
What are you doing, officer?
Less talk, more feeling. Keep your eyes closed. Soak in the closeness.
Fighting for it how? Oh. I guess it's better than nothing. Keep fighting on, my fellow comrade. Is there any... My husband? My husband, excuse me.
She doesn't mean to be antagonist.
Can I give you some friendly advice? No, I don't.
He's totally missing.
You're welcome.
The woman.
Hello again, sir. Crime fiction is about murder. You didn't mean to offend, sir. Sorry, sir. It's just that you don't look like Dick Mullen. Head.
No, it's your soul. No, no, not head, child. Heads.
Isn't that very dangerous? Unlike you, sir. He's just a fictional character. Maybe you can show me some real police work, sir. Like in the books.
The girl keeps her hands folded, hidden. Why is that?
What do you mean, sir?
She knows where this is going. She looks around anxiously. Her hands remain full. The lieutenant stands by, looking at the two of you with little interest. A facade of true professionalism. He is far more intrigued by the situation than his poise reveals. She brings out her reddened hands.
And you knew this from me keeping my hands folded? Well, that proves nothing. Anyone could do an easy deduction like that.
She actually is impressed. This is more like a defensive. She nods, half provocative, half enthusiastic.
Maybe so, sir. Okay, I know it's a bad habit, and I shouldn't. It was okay, sir.
There's more that can be achieved here. Ask her to do the same.
You're quite sober.
The lieutenant does not flinch at the comment. He does not flinch even a single bit. He is intensely not flinching. It takes effort.
I sure hope you are, sir.
There she stands, swaying on her feet, assaulted by the early spring breeze. There's something you're missing. Because you know each other. She's been talking to you so openly because you've talked before.
Yes, I I stand in this spot all the time. You've been running around all week without your shirt on, sir, apologizing to everyone. I don't really understand what you've done wrong. Of course, you've stopped by a few times. You certainly look better than the last time I saw you. Yeah, I can see. You don't have party eyes anymore.
Party eyes. Yes, of course. That makes sense.
I'm not surprised children have seen you running around with party eyes on, he thinks.
You know, like a cat in the dark, all big and wide-eyed. It certainly looks odd on a man.
The swiveling eyes of a loony drug addict. That is what she meant. Fuck yeah. You should get some party eyes right now. Snap those. Oh baby, that's not what you have to worry about. Worry about the important thing.
I didn't know I had to do that. I'm glad I could help you, sir. Crime fiction is about
Crime is what we were solving before this conversation began.
It's exciting to people. You don't look much like a policeman. Didn't mean to offend, sir. Sorry, sir. It's just that you don't look like Dick Muller.
She looks at dark. Aaron, that's not a healthy. Check out the Pope. He isn't even drawn right. She examines the picture closely.
Sure you could, sir. He's just a fake. Maybe you can show me some real police work, sir. Like in the books. Crime fiction is about murders or
Crime is what...
You don't look much like... Didn't mean to offend, sir. Sorry, sir. It's just that you don't look like Dick Mullen. What's that mean? And everything's better now, sir? Why is that? Sir, please, sir, don't say things like... Don't be sad, sir. I'm sorry I said that thing about Dick Mullen. Head.
No, not head, child. Heads.
I'm not sure I understand. If you say so, sir. Maybe you can show me some real police work, sir. Like in the books.
The bow collector. It's early in the morning. The world is dark blue. The sparks light her face, a delicate composition of triangles. There, working class drunk, cracked it, all in a good day's work. What do you mean, what did I crack? No, it's not. No, yes, didn't she? But he is missing. You heard, do marriages make any sense? Does honor? There's no...
God damn it, I already told you. My husband isn't miss, and I spit very well then. Where is he? Excuse me?
There's something...
Right.
Remember, about that what. Never ever say what.
You were right. I do have an alcohol.
Ha, blam. Knew it.
No, he's not. I haven't seen...
There. She's worried now.
I wouldn't be so sure. Ma'am, just to...
Report what? He's just out drinking with his friends. I'm sure the police has better things to do than to chase...
She sighs, but you can...
All right, go ahead. Honestly, not that different from you. Oh, thank God, no.
Hold on. Did she just laugh at disco?
Well?
Wait. Did she just imply that you're fat?
What else? It's his cool.
Who cares about the cold?
I even tried throwing it away once, but he just dug it out of the bin. Well, what can you do? I hope that at least that extra lining helps him keep warm at night.
She's thinking about him out in the cold.
Yes, because...
Gone for around 30. She turns away from you.
So you...
She genuinely wants you to...
Thank you. Please do.
She tries to maintain a brave front, even though her eyes reveal the opposite.
I'm sure he will too. When he does, would you let Precinct 57, Kim Kitsuragi, know?
I will. Of course, officer. As I said, it's probably nothing.
The cover of this tattered paperback features, behind him, rise the harsh, snow-capped peaks of his native Northlands. In bold red letters. Oh? The naked women and giant swords. Is that really the best they could? The back blurb reads, his latest adventure serves as the below. In smaller font, you see the parenthetical. A brazen attempt to bilk fans for more money by splicing together old stories. And their main concern is the continuation of the story opens in media res. The man from Heimdall and his band of northern reavers are in the bowels. By nightfall, only the man from 9 Tiribald. The writer has never held a sword in their life, let alone two-handed swords at the same time. It is physically impossible for a human being, and with deadly finesse, his twin blades scissor the necromancer's head from its body. A few chapters later, the man from Heimdall. This book makes a mockery of the very idea the Northmen find themselves in. The man from Heimdall extracts a high price from the desperate king. He asks land for the homeless. What do you mean? Because the flame of justice burns bright within his chest. What do you mean? Is that all? He is the man from Heimdall. He doesn't even have a real name. What? Hey, nothing wrong with the point is, why should you care? He is the wildest man alive. What are you, a book critic? Enough. You're ruining the... What pace? You skip past a section detailing an elaborate banquet with many toasts, as well as, in the center of the great hall, stands a blood altar. As the vile ceremony ends, the sound of steel unsheathing draws the Nectary's attention to a pair of cloaked figures. This is what you came for, is... No. Beautiful naked people fucking in the bushes is what you came for. Sweat, cocks, and titties, please. Swiftly, the visitors toss off their cloaks and unsheathe glimmering northern steel. It's the man. In an instant, the Nathera. Oh, for fuck's sake. When the din of battle settles, only the man from Heimdall and Tiribald remain standing, exhausted and dripping. What? In the first scene, the man from Heimdall fought. An excellent question. One easily answered by considering the sheer amount of different the man from Heimdall stares at you. A cockatoo. This book talks about the delicate nature of twos as well. Despite its banging name, the bang is for all the scary things in the world that may happen at any time. Where pet owners also it is not recommended to get a cockatoo. You're right. Cockatoos, ouch, not great for performing. Yes, birdie. Perhaps the most impressive, in the words of poet explorer, said, it must be glorious to behold, dark pink and snow white. Why does art inspire you so much? Excellent question. In short, art is the highest. Have you looked in the mirror lately? You have the exact features of a savage art critic. Of course not. It's autism, box drawing, masturbation with a ruler and a sextant or whatever they use. You should demean only the most experimental kind. Yes, you seek substance. No vapid representations and reproductions of social mores as made manifest in stuffy biennial. Exactly. It's not only your duty to only catch the criminals off the... Go ahead and provide This book talks about the delicate... This? Yes, but all those cockatoo species are so different. Which one are you? You're right. Your Majesty embodied. As you turn, a bright light catches your eye. So, from a distant sunset, a stage light, flash for... What are you? Deaf? They're perfect. Like rock star politician. Yeah, you have. You're a big... With a sudden flash, the world...
Have you no shame?
Look,
I'm trying to...
these manly men are playing... No, you got this. There's the ball.
See? You're munching and...
Could the objective of the game be to...
Ah, mon Dieu. The pain in... I hope you pass out from it. You...
Trying to throw something as close to a... Shush. Ignore them. They don't know what they're doing. They're old. Doesn't matter what team. Pick a team. Eyes on the ball, Dinky Winky. You are immediately surprised. God, this is right. You feel the familiar tremble, the cold already, a chilly breeze west in the Grand Couronne area, and embody. Behold the fear. Some would still say you're a cop, but I guess we're beyond that.
Merde! Bordel de...
A whorehouse of shit. It wasn't whorehouse of shit. The shot was...
What the hell is your problem? I don't care if you are a cop. You do not...
A man his age getting worked up like that? Better watch that blood pressure.
You vandalized our game, son. We can't play pétanque with 5 pool. No. No, you don't.
Take it easy.
Of course.
You are an officer of the law.
Good.
Yes. Why did you come here? You never know. Just talk.
I prefer the old name. Insulindian. It used to... You know...
You stirred up.
But enough!
Maybells don't blossom.
Maybe on some remote parts of the city they do. And for in my cop is...
He doesn't know about the crime. Your time is better spent.
I'm confident they are indispensable in regard to all the paperwork and other administrative duties. But you must agree that nature, in her infinite wisdom, has made men more fit to perform certain, more challenging tasks. Don't you, officer? Really, officer. Gender equality is a very noble, very modern idea. But in real life, primal... Yes. Yes.
Heavy.
Why what? Because that's what happens when communist... Sadly, no. Should've...
It was probably a bit more complicated than that.
This place is a damn beachhead, son. Yes.
He finds your lack of historic knowledge troubling.
Martinez was used as one of the 3 footholds in Revachol during Operation Deathblow in 08. The other 2 are off in Stella Maris. This here is...
Blood ground. You got old René going there. Like he isn't hungry enough already.
Don't get me wrong, officer. I hate those foreign dogs. Damn right.
He approves of this radical approach.
The rest of the...
Well...
You don't even be...
Thinking men have opinions on these things. Present one.
I'm sorry it had to be them. I would have preferred
This royal,
instead. This is just what the commies want. A truc.
some manner of self-deceit is
Damn.
He slouches as he says.
Suzerain.
Soon, they will forget everything.
It's no use talking to you.
An extremely inadvisable strategy against automatic war. As René 2, the last, a crown, it's the crown de bravoure. A small blue, the setting sun.
For brave.
It's a conflicted topic for the old veteran. There must have been a number of controversial episodes.
I'm sure. But I know this uniform's reputation. You are also wondering if I got this for raping women or killing babies. Son, we should never forgetting those times.
Whoa, sounds like you're about to open the gates of conversation. This man will literally talk.
For doing my duty in the heat of battle.
He saved some muddy princeling who foolishly strolled into the front line in his gown of velvet and...
It was on the first months of the revolution. King Frisel thought he could end it all in one decisive strike. Sent his cousin, Drisson, to put an end to the Alas, the young Drisson was all piss and no vinegar.
You can. It's very... He really despises.
Purple velvet tunic. That isn't exactly camel.
To keep the long and bloody story short, Drisson, the rebels were smart. They let us come real close before opening fire. Suffice to say, it was carnage. I got shot in the left shoulder and went down. Just a flesh wound. Then his horse, driven mad by the noise and smell of...
It's painful to even hang on to the story. Veterans get sentimental after such retellings. This might yield something useful.
I grabbed my sidearm and shot the beast.
Capitaine Arnoux, le fléau.
The bane of horses.
When I came to, it was all over. It was just me and Jolas Drisson, gurgling in the blood-soaked mud. Right, the dink had taken numerous flesh wounds and lost a lot of blood. But despite missing his jaw, he seemed hesitant to die. Tougher than he looked, that one. So I grabbed the dink and started crawling. Kept going, and through some miracle, we both survived. And the Jolas, he was the commanding officer, and I was on duty, just doing my job.
You sense he's downplaying it. Duty, medals, honor, chain of command. I like this guy. The old carabiner.
What Monseigneur Modesty is not telling you is that he crawled over 7 kilometers before the cavalrymen found him and Drisson. 2 days later that was. And that even while crawling with a mangled half-dead prince on his back, he still managed to murder 3 rebels on his way.
Is that pride in his voice? It's deep down, but maybe even unbeknownst to the man himself, it's there.
Sorry, officer, but you're reading me all wrong.
He's lying.
How did you find the story to be, officer?
Bon Dieu. You and Gaston.
Maybe, but also bear in mind, officer. Oh no, you have to get
Do not speak of what you know nothing about, Poltroon. Because he was a goddamn dandy. Royal blood alone doesn't...
Whoa, it is not.
Bah! There were many such stories in those days. Many such men, too. True Eversholians. Men with backbone.
Oh yes, René, yes. Men were bigger, girls were prettier, and everyone wore the fascia.
I'm not getting in...
You should try to come up with a heroic story of your own. Go long, go deep, go uncomfortable.
Sure, officer. I'm not following you.
He'll get it. Don't worry. Just continue. He's gonna be impressed. The man stares at you, silent. Doesn't look like he's imagining it. The carabiner crosses his arms and spits in the crater.
You're talking about getting black.
The lieutenant looks up from his notes and nods to the old carabiner.
How so?
His tone is like that of a drill sergeant addressing new recruits. The lieutenant sighs.
And I thought getting my knee shattered and surviving on rat carcasses in the trench was bad.
Your sarcasm will be extremely rigid principles this old soldier has. Don't leave room for a change of heart or backing out. The medal is yours.
Of course not.
Can we get back to our game now?
He mumbled. You certainly had me fooled. This feels honorable. You did the right thing. Feels as though you should do more honorable things. As if there's some kind of a...
Yes?
An old... as you look up, you notice something, even by the... Well, his own maladministration. For store, he called...
The man certainly knew how to live.
But wait, you haven't even heard about... You see, not just any nose candy, though. We're talking... That's what the revolutionaries... Beneath the cold waters of the Insulindian Bay, a group of The original was blown apart by communards. Most historians think the coalition's hasty landing may have ultimately saved the statue. The statue is supposed to capture the moment it was blown apart, like an instant frozen in time. A rare but neither do people in Martinique. Those Philip III, not that he ever did in life either. Something with great... Someone shot him in the heart. Interesting.
Okay, I can't see it, but I take your word for it. Well, Martinez is riddled with bullet holes. This place saw a lot of action during the revolution. But the statue is recently renovated. Why not? What this shows us is guns aren't too uncommon.
The king stands high above you. The sight of bullet holes stirs something.
Where? There? Those are old. Yes, the one that happened have not much.
There's a
You like sunglasses of...
board.
Damn, officer! You look like a mega secret...
They're perfect for concealing. It's going to be very...
No, you are definitely not buying those. No, I can't. We can't walk around with you looking like this. Okay, fine. Go ahead. If you want to look like a walking midlife crisis, then who am I to interfere?
The lieutenant's reverse psychology for Betty doesn't work on you. If you want to look like a mega secret midlife crisis,
A good starter pair, officer. And when you're ready to...
those UV stickers are almost certainly just there for the show. If anything,
These are all first-rate sunglasses. Oh, very interesting choice, officer.
this is how a sea monster sees the world. All right, but these actually make your vision worse. It's like literally being underwater. Yes,
Wow, officer. And they can be yours for a mere 3 real. My regular cost...
the lieutenant tilts his head and steps back, eyes narrowed in a thorough examination. It's a case to him.
You look like a musician. Like a blind musician. But you could do worse. Take them if you want.
A man who knows his style.
The name Sileng is embroidered
Happy shopping, officer. Everything's good.
from out on the...
You're very...
You feel a twitch in your index finger.
Don't shoot, officer. Have we got an arrest here or just a shakedown?
Even better. It's like a shakedown, but somehow legal. This is civil asset forfeiture.
Oh, you're threatening my inviolable property rights. Good joke, officer. You're very funny. You know that? Then fire away, officer.
Start with a little compliment.
Oh, okay. An investment? What kind of investment? Fair point. You can't have a successful business without a loyal customer base. How much is your loyalty worth? What? Only a $5?
God, a pack of royals would...
But officer, I don't have that. 10 real is a bargain for that kind of only the coolest goods in... I'm an entrepreneur. Good joke, officer.
You glance around the decrepit...
It's beautiful. Beautiful freedom. That's right. Revachol is the best. Anything for you. Me? It's a boy.
This man probably comes from Seaguy, sometimes known as the Apricot Suzerainty. An Apricot Suzerainty calls to mind an era when the Seaguy archipelago was colonized by Revachol. It's a bit of a slur, in other words.
That's right, officer. But it's a... Hey! Why?
There are clothes that
Don't be shy.
save the economy. That sounds off.
Haven't you heard, officer? We've got to be economically conscious. Very cool. Be
You find the box,
economical, but also trendy. Look,
something called this jacket practical.
good choice, officer. Gotta prepare for springtime.
You see two...
I can see you've a taste for luxury, officer.
These is
No, don't look at the speakers, officer. These, officer? These speakers...
Samaran trash.
No way, officer. These aren't for sale. No, officer. You're a high-class policeman who accepts nothing less than the best. Well, but see, they are the pedestal for my sneaker. If, on the other hand, you want...
Damn. A pair of found, dedicated,
Those sneakers, Mr.
Fun Ultra. Wear them.
Super cool.
The sneakers seem to vibrate in your hands with an almost mystical energy.
The junk is yours, officer. Happy listening.
You see rows of try to find something pretty and cool here. Why? What's this?
Oh, that's the headless phone. There's been a lot of interest in that particular figure.
He doesn't elaborate on.
I've heard about it. I've heard the headless phone rider.
Yes, there are several competing versions of the headless phone, 50 cents.
He lost his cap when he lost his head.
Did I mention that this figure...
That was a very... Yes, this sounds off. You shouldn't trust... The boombox is on the shelf. One, especially... This is you. Just make sure it works before you buy it.
Sorry, man. I can't be giving out freebies. It's the Harman Welshie W2. Made in Vespa. Designed in Seoul. And here you are. Qualities... If you don't mind, please put the flashlight away.
Photonic sensitivity is not generally acknowledged by them.
I do appreciate it.
A typical Martinez street lights like this one were part of a renovation.
700.
A bargain? No, it's not. He's
Hey, I don't know where it came from, but it's excellent choice. It is quite heavy. That's all right. I can keep it here for you. It's no problem. Come back any time to look at it. It's your sort of street light now.
A wise investment, I agree. The best part is that you can't carry it around. I would really dislike it if you could.
Wow, a very large red t-shirt. Oh yeah, the print smells like worn cotton.
Sniffing is okay.
You're not imagining it.
Hell yeah, man. I don't usually carry printed. I wouldn't go so... Most people don't think that the man from... I mean...
Okay.
You sound bizarre.
It's for the best, because Iamda is very... Stop talking about this nerd.
That's dirt cheap.
You should. Welcome to Hyundai. It's not. What can I do?
His courtesy is not insincere, but...
Oh no, not at all.
What?
All kinds of... As you can see, I have a wide selection. It keeps me...
He's well composed, but underneath it you sense entertained. He might be high, feeling a drug developed by the military to treat and prevent radiation sickness. It has psychedelic side effects.
I try to...
There's a note of those triangle patches on his vest. You have a feeling they mean something, like they're similar to the halogen rectangle on your jacket.
I had to take Perolidon for radiation.
He's taken it for mental and emotional. The People's Pile was a type U particle decay an emergency valve defect resulted.
There's so much no one.
So
a bunch of poor people built them. We were
on the tough son of a...
I lived by. There wasn't much to volunteer for. I like the theory.
Yeah, you gotta get in on those
Of course. It's in working order still, isn't it? Just pick your tape and set it spinning. Someone else
What? This is a pawn shop, and it did feel as if you've met before. The lieutenant shifts from one foot to another.
With
Kim here too. That just sounded really, really bad.
You were adamant about, and
He's not telling you the whole story.
You weren't quite. You were very distraught. You said when I said that I don't normally buy fire.
You sucked on a gun? Good. Very normal. Very normal behavior. You must have been in great shape.
15.
The lieutenant looks from you to Roy. This has got... There's pity there too, in case you didn't notice.
It certainly does. Especially, she did. Truth be told, she was terrifying.
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm, issued by the citizens' militia.
Miraculously, his face does not reveal what's happening inside.
You're right that she could cast aspersions on the force.
My apology.
A needle in a haystack. There...
Of course. Sure thing.
A needle in... With Kim...
You were, and I...
He's not telling you the whole story.
You were, when I...
Very normal behavior. You must have been in great shape.
No apologies necessary. Sure, man.
The porterial. You push.
The harbor.
He's right.
Oh.
The lieutenant presses the button marked Arrête.
End of recording. It seemed authentic enough. Probably recorded off the shortwave, then edited. Still.
There's more going on.
One
bad news.
A village on the Samaran...
The South Safra conflict is an ongoing proxy.
Who knows?
A symbol of soldier of the apocalypse style conduct.
I think we've got a few more questions for class.
That page 3 girl, she must be the most beautiful page 3 girl ever printed. L'origine du disco. It would be indecent to ignore Miss Page 3, a pilgrimage you can make with just your hand. Yes, sure is.
Evening, officers.
A burly man hangs out. His posture is relaxed, despite his powerful...
I wasn't here to witness it, but those look like tire tracks on that sign.
The words, "Dare."
Too bad it also takes a year and a... Well, there's the fishing village, an abandoned fish market. Yeah, not really much else. Sure thing.
It is salty.
Want some too, officer?
Why not?
Finger pistols, 9mm. Snap, snap, baby. Turns out guns aren't that much for protecting as they are for attacking people. If you want to protect people, really work for them, you have to whip out your signature dual 9mm Villiers finger pistols. Who needs real guns anyway? That conversation you just had? It would have gone better had you snapped those bad boys at them. Note, 9mm dual finger pistols do not count for an actual weapon in a gunfight.
Evening, officers.
A couple of indicator lights are missing from this control panel. This panel usually closes the water lock. You pull the lever, nothing happens. Nothing happens. A spring brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close. Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality? You pull the lever all the way, nothing happens. A spring brings the lever. Wasn't there a... A crumpled billboard reading, the sign billboard has fallen on the waterlock. Whatever it is, the boy on the billboard, goat milk butter. The Samaran terrain makes it's an acquired taste. Judging by the size of the impact and the parallel lines of burnt rubber, the cause was probably... These look like the same side slip marks indicated that the vehicle was traveling up the crater at... The black marks on the roof indicate that the vehicle vaulted from the crater to the roof of... The panel served as a takeoff. The vehicle soared through the air, hitting the billboard and the sign, the Samaran butter billboard, within the past 70. Still speeding, the vehicle made a loop. There are two good candidates. The Caprice, it's about the right size. And the tire marks look like the Caprice 40 is a very popular model with bank clerks, topping pie delivery drivers, secondary school teachers, cops, strippers dressed as cops, undressed strippers, very sturdy but light motor carriage. The Linear G22 is not a particularly popular model due to its peculiar proportions, which the manufacturer's design team probably thought about for too long. You'd have to follow the tracks to be sure. The lieutenant looks on.
Any theories about what happened here? What kind of car do you think it was? That's quite likely, from what I can tell. Oh. I suppose that narrows it down somewhat. Fortunately, we are not traffic cops. Should we get back to the murder?
Somewhere in the depths of your alcohol...
The tip-top tourney champion?
The lieutenant patiently listens to the words coming from your mouth.
Jumping canals at night? If I was Jacob Irv, I wouldn't drive in Martinez. The roads are awful.
Shut down.
In conclusion, it's a colorful theory, but I don't believe Jacob Irv did this. Should we go? If we must.
I'm not expecting him to get...
Still here. Stuck in this damn jam, my man. What's up? Ah, man. What?
Just be straight with him.
We have a critic.
Not me, man. No way. Look, man.
We wouldn't... It's not a lie. It's something. looks like some man down. A trooper has... You could swear it's more of an instinct.
Yes, it's probably yours. It bears the RCM insignia, and you have a habit of being careless with your equipment. You could probably make the jump. You look like you've done some track and field in your day.
As you leap in the air, a chilly breeze engulfs you, sharpening your senses. As the concrete floor welcomes you,
I knew you could do it. My climbing down might not have been as disco as your jump, but at least we can explore the harbor now.
with your feet firmly planted.
Please hurry. We are pretty...
Nothing looks like the inhabitant. It's a black... René looks like...
Why did you take that picture of René? You're really interested in that old soldier. Not sure I understand your fascination, but sure. As long as it doesn't take up a whole lot of time.
All those empty wine bottles and cigarette butts on the ground. Well,
yes, I think we can say with relative confidence that it was you. Yes, this scene isn't exactly
marsh. With a loud grind, the crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air. This crane was built with a purpose, which has now been fulfilled. Who can say? All you know is...
I can't see how that was worth the wreckers, except for seeing the crane in action, which I admit was satisfying.
Crane does not return. Actual art degree. Trite, contrived, mediocre, milquetoast, amateurish. Infantile, cliché and gonorrhea-ridden peon to conformism. I fucked me. Affront to humanity. War crime. Should literally be tried for war crimes. Resolutely shit. Lacking in imagination. Uninformed reimagining of. Lip-wristed, premature, ill-informed attempt at. Talentless fuckfest. Recidivistic shit peddler. Pedantic, listless. Savagely boring. Just one repulsive laugh after another. Before you stands a cargo container.
Is this like your thing with that wall again? There are a million containers here. Why are you... It's a cargo container. We're not here to interact with containers.
No reply. The knock produces a hollow ring of metal. Doesn't sound like this. You attempt to your left. The lieutenant considers your actions. Despite the dirt that surrounds and trails you, a beacon of light emerges from deep within you. The door stands silent.
Satisfied, detective?
Try again. Just like that, you hear a click, then a rattle. Some mechanism unlocks itself inside the door.
Ahoy! Come on in!
You can't be serious.
The man stands at the far end of the shipping container. It's hard to say, and the feeling causes all the hairs on your body to stand. Something's amiss. The light beams bend in the general stillness. Only your
Welcome. Come in. Make yourself at home. Sorry, I'm not better able to receive you.
You can't hear him exactly.
Now, what can I do for you, Jen? Who am I? Anyhow, my name is Rustam Theodore, investor.
Mr. Theodore, I am Lieutenant Kim Kitsuragi of the RCM, and...
Pleasure to meet you. Though I'm sorry to hear that a good public servant like yourself is enthralled to the drink. A man can't... Who am I? Oh, I haven't been...
Mr. Theodore,
Pleasure to meet you. Public service is on hold.
Oh Lord, not this again. Oh, nothing. It's just that we've got this murder to solve, and yet you go around asking everyone about money. And every time I ask, are you sure this is related to the case, you say, sure, Kim, I think it is. And yet, it never seems to get us any closer to solving the case.
It's quite alright. I'm used to the question. All I did...
And low. Actually, at the level this guy is, it takes several generations to do that. But, alright.
I gotta tell you, at first, but then, once you've reached my position, it's nearly impossible for me not to make money. Some of my lower net worth friends say to me, but doesn't that take all the fun out of it? And I tell them, not really. Sure, and they benefit when I buy things to stimulate the economy. Do you know how many jobs it takes to build and maintain a racing yacht? Dozens, at least. Of course, in the future, every man gets what he earns. It's the height of capital. Makes one...
Hey, all this talk about money has made you lose the thread. What
do you mean? Are you talking about my chin? Oh, that's what you mean. Yes.
The Weiss-Wieserman coefficient is a ratio designed to reflect the difference in net worth between individuals. When the coefficient is close to 1, or
among other things. But calm down. I am but a lowly single-digit... That's good.
I see nothing of the sort. To be frank, all I see is a gentleman who's unusually well-dressed for my...
Yes. I imagine that does look strange. Traveling. This is...
Wouldn't say it's exactly safe.
By the way, let me know...
In the very, very early days of colonizing this archipelago, the kingdom of Surens, a precursor of a modern Sir Leclerc.
Oh, interesting. It's a shame I can't get out and explore myself. One of the downsides of being an extremely high net worth individual is that mobs of low net worth individuals are constantly banding together to ask for money. There simply aren't enough hours a day to hand out all the handouts. It's like spending money is a matter of smart, you know? Luxury yachts, high-fidelity portable radio systems, bail-proof outerwear, and so on. It just gets a bit... What? No, I did not say that at all. Being rich is great. Just don't tell anyone I told you that.
Could you please stop asking people for money? It does not reflect well on the RCM, and to be perfectly frank, we can't afford to look worse than we already do.
It's perfectly alright.
Playing the pity card, are we? Whatever gets us.
As you may know, us high net worth individuals do not have nearest 3 real. How much?
Unbelievable. You managed to meet a man who's so rich, light literally bends around him, and all you can get.
You're welcome. You know, maybe you can make that money.
This is a proposal. These ultra-liberal types love losing huge sums of money on ludicrous proposals. Ergo, you should come up with a plan that's totally dead in the water. What's worse than throwing money at something that's already failed?
He should what?
The volunteer police force. And why would I do that?
Just a minute. The RCM has its difficulties, but generally speaking...
You know, that's exactly what I've heard. Still, the idea of a battalion. If you put in
bigger guns, large cut, the latest techno, take care of the people who protect the people.
If I could interject, the RCM's problems are mainly structural. We are hamstrung by a lack of clear lines of authority, and our...
I think the lieutenant's right. Your problems run much deeper than equipment or...
Yes, that's precisely what we need.
Hell no! Can you imagine how much work to think about investing is the less work you have to do?
The lieutenant's disappointment is palpable. It's like someone just shot his dog.
Now, was there anything else I could help you gentlemen with? Why go so soon? Welcome back, gentlemen. What can I do for you?
Container,
The lyrics to the accent,
container, you ever...
the look in his deep blue.
I see you are not a union man, mister. I mean, I don't... Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister. Oh, that one.
Told you.
Yes, yeah. I'm like Miss... Actually, Miss Beaufort is the right...
Who is this, Miss Beaufort?
A real pretty lady with a skin like those Douai Sucre candy bars my missus like. But I can't listen to the radio all the time. There's so much to do around here and I'm...
Stay on this Miss Beaufort topic.
Oh, Liz...
He respects that word.
But she's a real nice...
For a fraction of
If me missus and me... Doctor Lemaitre...
law school, could she be talking about the union fixer?
Looks like it.
I'm not sure what a fixer is, but she is a real nice girl.
Telling the gardener you know her name might throw her off. Perhaps something to consider later.
Oh, most of the guys are down at... We're on a strike.
So no.
But Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble and... Oh, I'm not really... Him and his boys stirred up something and...
Don't go all bad cop on this simple, friendly fellow.
I guess the boys got a bit too rowdy and had...
Easy, Leo.
Look at him. It's not going to be anything useful anyway. Don't fight it. Better to go with the flow.
I remember, but Mr. Everett and his brother always came to help. Once they... Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar are real nice...
You're never getting anything useful out of him. It's good enough you found out Everett has a brother called Edgar.
Oh, I'm just making some covers for them containers here. Yes, I am.
The containers in the yard it's like some red infection was spreading outwards from the There appear to be cisterns under...
Yes, they are hiding it from the inside. All the red containers have the Debarders Union logo on.
No, not really. Mr. Everett doesn't... Oh, I don't know, mister. They say it's some chemicals. Most... Oh, no trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all. Oh, you want Mr. Everett then? He's an awfully nice fellow, he. Guys like Mr. Everett and Mr...
Patience. Deep down you have the mental power to keep listening. Not many would.
Had an arithmetics teacher, Miss Bellows. All the boys liked her, if you know what I mean, mister. We used to sneak in her yard in the dark and peek through the window. One time we saw Miss Bellows with a fellow. Yes, we did, mister. Yes, we did, mister. Indeed we did. Them was all naked too. That's all I got to say about that. Thank you, mister. Oh, bye-bye now.
A large table with two peer into a discarded coffee cup. You see nothing exceptional. It's a look. If you squint your eyes enough, it's a clue. A clue about the person. Yes, of course. It's meaningful. I swear. You just wait. You got it, pal. I would never. You snatch up the red plastic card. It features a black contour of a crane lifting a container. The name, Etienne Hogarth, is written in the middle. Below it, in smaller text, member of the board. On second glance,
It's unfortunate for the Union to...
let's see what's inside. The drawer opens smoothly. It's probably on rails. Hundreds of documents containing and the same materials being handed over to companies inside. It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company. Whatever's hidden here is hidden. It appears to be, remember Leo, Everard's. All items on the list have been...
Everard Clare, probably. The head of the Debarders Union.
The special, or what is so special about this? Remember Leo, all items on the list have been crossed out, and the note itself is the drawer slide.
Yeah, Measurehead.
Your body does not betray. Don't say anything.
Are you with my... It must be frightening to stand in... What is this androgynous display?
Things are not as bad as they look. Sure.
I can see you were once an athlete, then deteriorated.
Jean-Luc, his body is betraying his degeneracy pretty hard. Maybe you can ask him to leave.
You have succumbed to... You reek of it. An invisible...
It's not good.
Yeah.
He means alcohol.
I doubt it. My microcephalic race, so... No, you don't. You need to get another drink.
Show him the ham still got it.
Willingly calling yourself a Amazon wish. How far you gave the world. You dominate. You will be super.
It is, baby, yeah. You know it.
Enough with this begging. You should leave. Bring your troops to the Simonine Island. The walls will be...
You could internalize Measurehead's race theory. It would enrich you. Well, not as such. What you do with the mastery of advanced race theory is up to you. You could reject the findings, sure.
Racists are generally...
Welcome. He must think. True. That is a noble cranium. But you got the drawings are precise and look true to their pseudo-scientific ambitions. One thing, however, it is not entirely free of throwbacks in the phylogenetic tree. His large jaw, for example, could be a trait indicative of criminalism.
The size of the earlobe.
Your earlobes.
Yes.
That atavistic stigmata makes pussy say yes, plenty.
Babe, thank.
You have him off guard now. He's preoccupied with this situation with his woman.
I am not the...
You pick up on something artificial in his tone, like he's putting on an...
Fine. Find out.
Interesting.
He does not so much as glance at the object.
Stop showing.
He had nothing to do with it. Does he strike you as the kind of...
Don't be vulgar.
There must be some friction there. He's keeping it well hidden, however.
Mr. Clare is also... To serve is noble. It takes discipline. You're... Idiot above all. Rampant multi-offshoots. I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened. What you need is to come to terms.
I think this racist is better.
That will be the...
he will grant us 3 wishes.
Your pedomorphic friend has quick wits. A protruding oxy.
The lieutenant does not flinch.
You should keep him close. The congenital defect of farsightedness does not render him a complete invalid.
Ask what kind of races there are first.
Do you?
The lieutenant looks toward the harbors.
You are of. There are 3 categories of race.
Yeah.
Yes, it would seem...
The Khoikhos of Grad, Yugo, Zhimsk, Shest et al. Are what you would call...
Yes. Pinkness, the Khoi...
Wouldn't he be one for ethnostates?
It's lead though.
Is it 82,000 years that we've been recording history? You have very little idea of what is happening. But that seems a little off.
The mysteries of the people of this planet are the enough of Tibet. Though a receding genetic pool has the overproduction as proven by the mound.
Nature was not capable.
Tips the F are a music lesser.
It seems unlikely that 2 human beings produce genetically sterile offspring.
You are right.
The sage will not.
Then there is the sea. That is understandable. You understand nothing. Lost, though. I cannot possibly imagine. There is nothing fun. Those a receding genetic pool has led them out. You know.
Mahoon, is it your well?
The mouth.
Colorful test.
The over as proven by the latter.
Nature was not capable of more.
I cannot possibly imagine what else we have to.
What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable. It's time to become a citizen of the Kingdom of Con. That's a pity.
Your race descent has...
Stars Riker KK2, one of the finest. Not many people. Bulky frame, heavy, hardy.
A Stas Raiko KK2. That's a classic model. Never thought I'd see another one repainted after what happened last time.
No, only that the motor carriage is typically baby blue. The colors of Sigismund the Great, an ancient Zhimsk ruler. His banners were famous.
An old case for my precinct. A couple of Zhimsk migrants saw a Stas Raiko stopped in the street. They said it was an honor killing, Hussar style. The Zhimsk community protested the trial, flying the banners of some old king or whatever. 5,000 came to protest.
Correction, 4,395. The 4th largest public protest of a criminal trial in Revachol.
Is that so, officer? I'll take you at your word.
Were you there?
Could it be another Stas Raiko murder? Honestly, that just doesn't seem like the type of vehicle our dead guy would drive. So my initial guess is the two are not related. People we are paid to protect. Let's leave it at that. 4 years for murder in Reunion. The perps were remorseful. Their sorry knocked 8 years off the sentence.
The prisons in the Greater Revachol Industrial Harbor are...
Yes, detective? You sure you're not Jimsk?
Yes, you're sure you're not. Or, if you are, it's only in that Revacholian way.
Yes?
A mirror hangs. The fan, the switch must be broken. The bed is still... The bed is still cold.
Here we are again, my broken bird. The waves are coming, carrying you away. But you can't go. No, you have to stay. Always half aware of yourself. You're not cooperating. It's your disgusting body. Even through your sleep, you feel a vague discomfort suffusing it. Your belly and your sides are unpleasantly tender. You wish you...
And there's a lot of it. That pain in your right side is your... Every cell in your body is moaning in agony, asking, what did we ever do to...
And why might that be the case? What lava lights on such a...
Oh, yeah.
Don't...
You're just stuck here. In the half-world. Sure.
Some of them are. At least they're interesting. People are beautiful.
What do you think you're doing right now? Coming to some greater...
Let it.
But it never...
Put on your prettiest face for the masses.
You look like shit. And I don't mean that as a metaphor.
You can't leave it like that. Spin it on its head. Engage caps lock. No, you don't. You look like a young god.
What?
Push it more. Harder.
Oh, come on, Jean. It looks like it's been a rough week on him.
It's not just this week.
There's something about this guy that matches with a face. He might be wearing a disguise. You know what it is. It's like the two of you know each other.
Oh, I definitely...
Another life.
Yes, from another life. A different life. To what station do you think you would belong in this alternate and totally... Okay, that's plausible. That's entirely plausible. Somewhere good. Okay. Let's be crazy. Let's say you and I are partners. How's that for a thought experiment? I'm sure he's fucking flattered.
The lieutenant is silent.
Would you now, or would I be cramping your style? Never mind. Partner.
I'm not your partner. This union is temporary.
A little premonition for you, Lieutenant. Sooner or later, when that happens...
The lieutenant merely bows his head in response.
You're not going to believe this, but... Yes, sir. Just some regular boring Oh, no. You see, I enjoy watching other...
This isn't helping.
Oh, it's you eccentric genius. Not even a little...
It's an urban myth about an officer who is so far undercover he can't remember who...
He's trying to protect you from... Okay, yes. You get the joke.
Neither can I, partner.
It's a mere second, but it feels like you saw something. A gram of...
Yes, it's a hobby of mine.
As if waiting for some kind of reaction or response.
About what? You don't look like a cop. You know what you look like? No! You will not start blabbering about that asshole.
He didn't answer your question. Who does this asshole think he is?
I'm not getting involved in this.
It's not my style, he thinks, glancing at the man in sunglasses and the woman beside him. Oh boy, they're mad at him. No wonder. He just doesn't reckon.
No. 'Cause it's not my job. Why don't you go and fucking do yours and solve this damn hanging? Actually, I don't want...
Come on, Jean.
Okay, say things. I want to hear you say things.
Hear that? He wants you to say things. Say one. Suddenly, out of nowhere, case-related things start popping up.
You think he was hanged as a cover-up? Okay, well... I don't know. Why are you?
It's like you felt it would be intellectually stimulating. Who knows why we do the things we do? Somehow, bouncing those ideas off the man with sunglasses felt calming. Like, you know what? It must be because he's buff. He looks like he works out, like he's got the devil on his back.
Oh my god, there's more. You want something more? Okay, why not? Let's do the old thing. You think he was hanged as a cover-up? I don't know. Oh my god, there's more. Watch out for yourself, loser.
Okay, the man with the sunglasses and his hypothetical Station 41. There's something missing here. Something you can't put our finger... Yes, just cross it off the list. It's probably not...
Again? I'm going to say no. Just to see what you'll say to that. What'd you say? God fucking shit.
None of this. Okay, I was clearly wrong. He is a firefighter. The woman in an RCM.
I would really prefer not to talk to you.
A patrol officer is the lowest rank in the RCM. Below lieutenant.
Yes, I am. I know.
Here's the real deal.
It's hard to tell whether he's sarcastic or sincere.
I don't know.
After all you've done.
No, you haven't wronged me.
Something changes in her.
Okay, fine. Let's talk.
What does one talk about with a fellow of...
What precinct?
Am I from?
Fucking deranged lunatic.
You're getting an intellectually unsatisfying vibe from this conversation. Maybe you're doing...
I don't...
Don't say anything, Judith. Me? No. I'm just a man with sun.
Okay.
I'm just
No one. I'm just a man with sunglasses. And you are?
Yes. A policewoman.
Something about the man with sunglasses and you.
Of course I'm with him. Why do you ask?
Well, he's not. He's a sack of shit barely kept to...
Please, let's not turn this into another...
God damn it, you leave her alone.
Can I actually help you?
Yes, of course. Preposterous. I mean, you...
Hello, officer?
So I have back. You know who? Me? Yes, you. He's talking about you, you boring stiff. You too. Me? What did I do? I'm merely a master thespian. These guys are compromised. She's got them singing. I'm sorry I didn't catch it sooner. It takes conscious effort on your part. Yes, Mr. She is a lady, most in his defense. To reduce him to... That is correct. A little. They're all still of limited use. But when it comes to assessments of character and factual accuracy, good. A light green speck, and there's no way of... All bullshit, man. I ain't... Especially that guy. That guy's the most compromised one in... No fucking way, man. I just want... Really? Glory. Truth. I take it back. He's got it pretty bad. She likes you. The crown head is a boring condom. He's jealous. This is how it always does. There's nothing you can do. No, it's better to know you're being played. You can't draw it. She may want to control the information. See? You are not afraid. This is a mere girl. She was... Don't worry. It's only been 4 or 5 seconds. You've got this. The silence.
God, no.
She looks chipped white polish.
Pretty. Looks like a dried... Why was there a flower on the roof?
Or an admirer?
Admires?
Question avoided. Let's conclude that she has admirers. Plenty. She puts with a... This doesn't. She doesn't.
It's intercept.
Does he say he's gonna do it Soldier of the Apocalypse? Yeah.
A memory serve.
Did he say whores a lot? He liked the way it sounded when he said it. He wasn't actually there.
Yes.
Oh, no.
She's quite observant about the human character. Trained to observe, even.
Running joke. He was like the Seminoles conflict, the Khohoi massacre, and the 36 famine in Yezud.
When he said he was done, and done mentally, it didn't sound...
Well, maybe I pieced... We're all scraping up any happiness we...
Did he tell you...
No.
There is a small... What kind of man was he? Before you go, ask for details.
Thank you for clearing that up.
She takes a very small sip of her coffee and smiles.
Like, for example...
Actually, officer...
A nickname.
I get...
Lily. We have a few...
The last missing pieces of the puzzle of flesh. The lady...
You were right, officer. He was accidental. It isn't. Police work is a cooperative sport.
This is clearly a sport for him. Something like archery or darts.
That's too pinball for me. I just like to get autopsies right on the first try. Where were we?
He's lying.
It isn't.
This is clearly a sport for him.
That's too conceptual for me.
He's lying.
Yes.
Did that...
No.
Sex, speed, and fire. No love for Mother Araignée. But wasn't he a soldier? This could be worth...
No. He left the National Service. He was by no means a stupid man. I love...
A column of air encircles her, brushing gently on the metallic silver fabric that covers her shoulders and her long, slender arm.
True. It did not love him.
The feeling dissipates. The cold passes.
He was
42?
He had many scars that made him appear. We even celebrated his birthday.
Right again, officer.
This feels so just. Like there is righteousness in the world. Points are good. Have one, you old dog, before we all die.
Blue. Pardon the swearing.
He had a combat wound?
Yes.
It's clear she was very much attracted to him.
Of course. He was the and now...
Oh, yes. His hair?
It was light brown, almost blonde. He darkened it with brilliantine, made oily. Not nice to stroke. I couldn't convince him to leave it alone. Oily, isn't it? We have that.
She understands what autopsies entail. It doesn't get her off balance.
No. Okay, sure. Here you go. What else are we missing, officer?
Oh, that.
It's clear she liked it.
Sure. Service history. How?
Is this Orani's?
Yes. This is the... He's smoking and drinking, and so it goes... Oh, yeah. No, thank you.
Go on.
He was a blue... He went to Killer Academy in Vredefort. Then he killed some people on the Seminine Island. Change of topic, perhaps? Why did...
Just have her answer the question. Don't give explanations.
I don't think he enjoyed dying.
Everything checks out. No, it doesn't. That's a strange thing to suggest. The lady is as fair and just.
Good for you.
What do you think it will take?
I don't know how a semen sample works, officers. How many days after intercourse?
Is she avoiding? Technically not.
Is the union common? There no...
I think she's just tired. You could blame her. A little. It was a pretty
What?
Just have her answer the question.
Well, it's wrong.
Everything checks. No, that's a strange thing to suggest.
All right.
Coolly, gracefully, she pours herself.
Not my favorite topic, but okay. How about we... Yeah? Yeah.
Oh my.
For me, it's a mix of...
Somewhere below, military-grade sand is dripping off the walls.
That's where it always comes from, isn't it? Sounds like an advanced form of what I've got. With a bit of old love spring. Love is terror.
Sheer terror, panic, and screaming.
Thank you.
Technically, no, don't listen to the stiff. Be cool.
With money, sir.
The anti-star is, or was, a vespertine rock and roll.
Oh, yes. One like not being able to stay up for 36 hours. Not being happy. Comes in handy when you've done too many opioids.
Is that something that happens to you often, miss?
Better safe than sorry. Very funky.
What was that? Funky town?
Believe me, you don't want to get into that shit. You've got it bad as it is.
Funk is an aggressive resurgence of the new aesthetic of the Revacholian 30s.
All right. Not my favorite topic, but how about we...
Yes, miss. I hope you don't mind.
What?
Just have her answer the question.
Wow. Maybe you're interpreting them wrong?
Everything checks out. No, it doesn't. That's a strange thing to suggest.
All right.
Coolly, gracefully, she...
Why not? I'll be here until 11 p.m. Drink.
Wait, stop. That man, bloated beyond all below the damage. How old? You could ask either one of them.
Huh? How old? 58? He was deceased. He had been decomposing for a week. On the bright side, you've been getting a lot of exercise lately.
There's silence. Then a little more. Here it comes. Mercy.
Sure, you're 42. Let's go?
Wait. This requires to the laboratorium.
Oh, hello, dear. I didn't notice. Oh, my. What happened to the water lock? Oh, sweetie, if it weren't for you,
You're welcome.
I hate to ask.
Of course, the quest.
And if you see him, let him know Lena is waiting. Oh, you're such a dear.
I've got nothing to say to you. I suggest not wasting time.
Even though she has excellent control, you caught her off guard. Push her some more.
You are not here to chat.
You set the... A man like Easy Leo could have said anything. Do not be restrained, sire.
I represent the Union and these men.
A very minor victory. A rusting control panel with you. You grab the handle and pull the water lock starts moving.
Okay, if we ever need to get to the coast, then this is the way. But please, contain your wanderlust for now.
Focus on one thing. Rust peels off the bent, yet someone...
In this yard?
He's assessing the...
Someone thought they could have a summer house in a bloc obscure. Practically, it's not an official term. Yes, for you to pick up as part of the Jamrock Shuffle.
It's not meant as...
We should move. I don't think...
Still here. Stuck in... Nope. Some of the other drugs...
You really need them smokes. Hey, isn't he, like, smoking right now? The smell is in the air.
You could also check the kiosk down the street. Frit. With 3 T's.
Can I help you? Got the 20 real? Good. You got the room for the night, but remember, you'll need... You're already set for the night.
The porter reel is just what you needed. You press the large button marked Commencer, and it sounds like someone's moving in the room, getting comfortable. Then the organ starts playing a simple, melancholic tune, echoing in the hallway. A lone singing voice joins in. Telling you about the tiniest church. Within seconds you know, this is the one, the real shit you've been looking for. The one you trust your room to that Klaasje told you about. Perform it. A click, then silence for a bit. Then the tape stops spinning. Of course you could sing this. You could take sad. Yup, they're all here. All 3 verses. And the B-side of the tape contains the instrumental version. It's like the world got. You have to convince Gart to let you sing karaoke in the world. The lieutenant watches you pack up the boombox. He doesn't say anything.
Can I help you? No, you don't.
He tries not to look at you. It's dangerous to acknowledge the karaoke man. You need to approach this situation logically. Ask him why he has the PA system installed if you can't use it.
It's for no one. It's a prop. I'm not letting anyone use it after the great karaoke catastrophe of '44. It's not for bands, it's for clients. Some clients, okay? Not you. Ha! Well, we don't have any tapes. They all got stolen.
He's lying, but whatever, you don't really need his lame tracks. The man in the vest and the violet shirt stares at the tape. This is the look of a man who's defeated. He knows he's out of excuses.
Fine, fine. Climb on that stage and do your thing. Just get out of my hair. I'll plug it in for you. Damn this karaoke machine.
I'm having it uninstalled, he mumbles to himself. Oh yeah, time to do the damage.
Yes?
The stage is all set up for your performance. You feel a little dizzy.
So, are you ready for your thing now? Let me know when I should turn on the karaoke carousel.
The stage is, you feel...
So, are you ready for your...
I can see that.
Immediately, a loud feedback noise startles the room. Hands. Does someone feel like throwing up? It's still early here. Faint daylight. Someone's making coffee in the kitchen. But aside from that, yes, you could always do it in the evening. It will be less scary with a lot of people. The edges of the pages are worn and smudged. A lot of people have read about the Devil Woman's altercations with the Heimdall. The jacket copy proclaims, "Man from Heimdall returns in his most exciting adventure yet. After crashing into a strange jungle, cannibalistic natives abduct his only surviving comrade, Noble Tyribald. He is ambushed by a tribe of female warriors and taken to the ancient citadel of Cloud City, where a mysterious and wicked queen rules." You open the book to a random page. His arms were... Good God, this is some rich... You flip to the copyright page. This book was written in 30... Berserker rage burns in his azure-hued eyes as he brings glory and honor to it. Man from Heimdall rides on a gilded griffin. The steel muscles of man from Yeomdal gleam in the humid jungle air. Yet a passage reads, "The man from Yeomdal looks up. Thine spells are no match for purity. I have grand plans for you. This is beyond primitive." What do you even know about literature? Have you ever read a book in your life? Man from Yeomdal has no time for illiterates. In your hands, the cover features a charming illustration depicting a mass. The exact location and time period are left. The box has a nice heft to it. What treasures wait even before you open it? You can the plastic wrap. There's a hiss as the lid slides. Savor that new board game smell. A mix of Welcome to Suzerainty, a game of economic strategy. The colorful illustrations depict cheerful workers picking apricots, hauling marble sculptures out of crumbling temples, and harvesting a strange magenta-leafed plant. Everyone is smiling. You begin to suspect there may be the instructions are opaque at first, and you soon figure out the basic conceit. Each player represents an administrator that's where the suzerain's vassals come in. Each turn, the player collects resources from vassals where they've played. As you leaf through the pages, remember, there are many paths to victory in Boring, boring, boring. Tear up this rulebook. The actual scoring system appears infinite. You open up a number of pouches containing wooden tokens. There are also several punch boards with, in addition to the worker and from the Empire.
Oh, those are nice.
Each cardboard token makes a satisfying ch as you pop it out. Soon, a neat pile of cardboard coins and counters has accumulated before.
What? You're not going to offer to let me punch any of them out?
You hold the open. The lieutenant looks over the rulebook.
Holy shit. The average playing time for this game is 1 to 6 hours. I'm not sure we can afford to set aside that kind of time for a game.
So he says, but his gaze lingers a moment longer on the rulebook than is strictly necessary. He could make time if he really wanted to. What is detective work, if not an elaborate?
I do feel like my thinking has become somewhat rigid. Maybe a little diversion to keep the mind limber is just what's in order.
See? He's doing the hard work himself.
All right, you've convinced me. How do we play?
You explain the basic setup procedure. In the center is the crown of apricots from Safre. Archaeological trip. There's also a neat little... The lieutenant goes first. He draws a contract card.
All right, detective. Your turn.
You have a few options available to you. Will you try? Remember what the rulebook said. You'll want to choose a strategy early on and stay committed to it. What is the very beginning of the game? Your worker... That's more like it. You produce... Meanwhile, the lieutenant spends 2 of his sugar and 1 of his apricot.
That's a market. It's worth 2 victory points. Don't worry, it was mostly just luck.
What is that patronizing tone? You're one of the suzerain's trusted
Points are nothing. They don't exist.
If points are really arbitrary, as the lieutenant says, what's to stop you from playing the game the way you want?
Game designers, I imagine? There are some paranoid types who believe the moral intern keeps detailed scores. Otherwise, no. There are no points.
Just like there are no honor points. None whatsoever.
That's just the way it is. Now, I believe it's your turn.
Glancing over the board, you see several possible strategies. Pressing more workers into service would increase your economic output and help you to survive a possible conflict with the lieutenant. Those aren't your only options. You could also show your workers how much you appreciate them by investing some of that wealth in them. After all, they're the ones producing wealth for the suzerain. Well, sure, you can do that. It's just not a terribly effective strategy, but then it's up to you.
That's up to you, detective. You should probably pick one strategy and stick to it. Trying to do a little of everything is usually a bad idea. The workers are just there to produce...
The lieutenant assumes you're playing by the rules as written. But what's the point of playing if you... To the lieutenant's puzzlement, you spend several turns building various improvements to your territorial infrastructure. Soon, your workers have access to clean water, paved roads, and basic hobbies. In return, they produce one extra resource per turn.
Too bad investing in your workers just isn't worth many points. Take a look at the scoring tables in the back. You see in Table 8C that investing in territorial infrastructure multiplies your final victory point total by 1, which is to say not at all. Whereas erecting monuments in Revachol gives you a multiplier of 5. Yes, precisely.
Nonsense. Remember what the lieutenant said. If points are arbitrary, who cares about winning? You should reject their system and just play. Now it's the lieutenant's turn to respond. He moves aggressively onto the Safre territory. Soon, his workers are producing a steady supply of extremely valuable apricots. How can you let the lieutenant dominate you like that? For several turns, you struggle to respond to the lieutenant's burgeoning apricot empire. Eventually, you draw a new contract card. According to the text, there's an aristocrat willing to trade a large supply of cocaine for a number of coins and access to a rare bonus. Amplified music worth 7 victory points. Oh yeah, baby. Cocaine and, this isn't unlike the situation the historical Revacholian suzerainty faced in Safre. Well, the suzerain was looking by introducing cocaine into Safre under exclusive contract. The suzerain, if you could somehow get the lieutenant's workers addicted to your cocaine, you could not only make them, yes, you can, now's your chance. Show you've reached a critical strategic juncture. How do you respond to the lieutenant's aggression? With each passing turn, you slowly bleed the lieutenant of coins. As a matter of historical fact, this is almost exactly what happened in Safre to this day.
More or less.
Realizing victory is slipping away, the lieutenant launches a desperate gambit. The end game is upon you. Do you ignore his aggression and focus on building? Alternatively, you could throw the choice is yours. There's a reason very few players ever attempt to build a public. Your boondoggle nearly bankrupts the suzerain's treasury. And
ouch.
The lieutenant opens his mouth.
You know, detective, there's something admirable about that, in its own way. Now, let's tally up the scores.
Computing the final scores is almost a game unto itself. You each spend after double, then triple checking your maths. -5 victory points. You'll be lucky if the suzerain doesn't have your whole family executed for such a pitiful performance.
I've got 20 points. Well, there's always next time. Figuratively, I mean. There's no way we have time to play this game again. Now, let's clean up and get back to work.
You hold the open game. In your hand, the cover features a pastiche of different scenes. The tagline reads, Detective Dick Mullen must prove his innocence after, needless to say, it violates nearly every...
Are you really reading that, detective? Good luck finding it. He's not much of a character.
The point is, for the reader to... The story opens with a knock at the door. Spillane needs Mullen to drive him in from Vespa to an extremely unprofessional and hurtful stereotype that's offensive to, but also extremely accurate in your case. Give it time. You'll fall off the wagon sooner or later. 2 days later, Mullen is arrested by the Vespa police and charged with the murder of Charlie Spillane. At his interrogation, Mullen learns that, desperate to clear his name, Mullen manages to convince the Vespa police to release him for 3 days so that Mullen may solve his friend's murder and prove his innocence.
What's the matter, detective?
The lieutenant shrugs. Resigned, they're not shitting you, detective. This is what the writers think. Of course, Mullen didn't do it. That's the whole premise of the book. Anyway, Mullen returns to the seaside bar where Spillane was murdered and meets a beautiful, mysterious woman. Deneuve reveals that she was Spillane's lover and that he not only is the local police captain in on the amphetamine ring, so is the son of a powerful politician. Outwardly, the old police captain is a real law and order. He would certainly have a typical privileged twat. In all likelihood, the kid doesn't exactly have Dick Mullen's manly build, but he is the correct height. Torvald, the art collector, is a strung-out mess. Frankly, it's hard to... That said, Torvald and Spillane have a long history. One evening, Deanna Deneuve comes to yes, comfort and pleasure. The warmth of another human's touch. Well, that testimony won't be admissible any longer. The man's a prosecutor's nightmare. Solving a murder, that's just Dick Mullen's modus operandi. He might bend the rules. As the two lovers share a post-coital cigarette, I love you. The name of the true killer. Always aim for the center of mass. Whatever it is, Mullen never hears the words. A blow to the base of his skull knocks him out cold. When Mullen comes to, Deneuve is dead on the hostel bed. Mullen trashes his blood-stained clothes and flees the hostel, knowing it's only a matter of hours before fleeing a crime scene, destroying Dick Mullen won't be sent to the clink. The heat is on. If Dick Mullen can't solve both murders, can you solve the case before the cops close in? What is it, detective? It's a dangerous line of work. But what's the matter? Afraid you've been hacking up your friends' bodies in the night? Have you gone over everyone? Is anybody missing? There was never a time when he wasn't a detective. He was born. Dick Mullen was made to crack skulls and solve. You're no tiger though, detective. You're a man. For a moment, you cease to read the story on the page, and from nowhere, you hear the screech of sneakers on a waxed floor, and you feel the burn of rope against your hands. Are these figments of some other life? You won't find the answers you're looking for here. In other words, is it really so evil, detective? Like what? Do you even have those? Just make sure you don't lose him. It's true in more ways than you know. But then, what does this book know? It's just a poorly made piece of pulp garbage made to be consumed and discarded. So, who did it, detective? Who killed Charlie Spillane and Deanna Deneuve? Have you been paying attention at all? It was. You begin furiously flipping through dozens of pages scatter across the floor. The last fifth or so of the book seems to have been lost. It's possible that you could gather and reassemble.
Too bad, detective. If it's any consolation, the resolution is almost never very... And on that note, perhaps we should get back to making sense of our own case?
Last year, more than 71% of... In your hand, you hold 4/5 of Dick Mullen and the mistaken identity. Medicinal purposes of the... Flipping through the book, you find a number of you come across. It's all, finally, something to come. It seems to contain descriptions of the medicinal properties of There are a number of CO-like tonics that promise to improve your short... There's nothing in here that speaks to hangovers. First, you need to choose a base ingredient. Next, you'll need to combine the base ingredient with an appropriate vehicle. Lastly, is there anything else you'd like to add? The combination of mint and birch bark make this... Would you like to try again? Very well. Next, you'll need to combine the... Lastly, is there... The ginger root will help with the nausea. The very thought of this tea causes your muscles to... A tingle rushes down your spine, and you feel your toes uncurl. Large letters on the front form a title. Text underneath the title in smaller typeface. Mysterious things rattle inside. None of that witless man from Heimdall, fascist dross, hidden behind faux Yes, the Wirral setting is known for its complicated system of political alignments. But if you... A blurb on the back reads, tired of the tedium and toil of modern life, succumb to a world of high pasternal fantastique. Unleash your imagination and create an adventure of endless possibilities. Discover the terrible secret threatening Wirral. Can your band of adventurers... Exactly. That's the spirit. In no time, you could be romping through grass. Don't forget heated arguments escalate into physical confrontation with your friends. And beer. And most importantly, never forget to rage quit. You pry open the box. A reprint of a crude hand-drawn map. The top left corner reads, it doesn't seem to correspond with anything. A quick guide to the magical races of Wirral. The options are in order of importance. The Welkin, tall, lithe, and graceful. The Welkin come with a variety of exciting sub-races. High Welkin, Forest Welkin, a grand race of industrious mountain people. They're short. The Tweog also come in a few different sub-races. They're just humans. What else is there to tell? A very small race of flying people, known for being the least popular of the Wirral races. The Pygmies are short, rotund, and dim-witted. Pygmies live. It's made from some sort of wood and has been decorated with peculiar plant motifs. You don't know much about dice, but this one, you place the die into your pocket. It's always good to have luck on your side. You see a man in ragged clothes wearing a lob...
Interesting. A communard. A communard. One of the leftist The figurine is not a part of the real game setting. I guess someone misplaced it during the packaging process. Good luck finding people who'd want to play as communard.
You see a man...
Interesting. A communard. It is not. The communards are not a part of the game setting. I have a feeling the figurines are more there to set the scene than anything else.
You pick the figurine up by the base to meet your gaze. The little plastic man, a colorful box with the title. Bankruptcy sequence. It's easy. You just need to move on. Like a plague of locusts. Like a fucking plague. Failure is a core tenet of liberalism. When life closes a door, it opens a window. And if the fall is too steep, use the fire exit. The front of this quarterly journal, because, Friesel, to your disappointment, there aren't any full-color, no advertisements. After rifling the pages, the magazine is divided into several sections. face. This section includes a lot. You also skip over. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It seems to be part of a new public, according to this extremely credulous account. Uncles, of course not. The article makes plain that according to the SRV's Ministry of this is the SRV we're talking about. If you think those are the... What are you, a statistician? Did the moral intern send you on a fact-finding mission? This is the SRV party line.
The Samaran People's Republic? No, I should expect not. Why do you ask? I suppose that would be something to see.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents. It takes a moment, but why? They decide, obviously, because it evokes a sense of... As you leaf through this the main feature, though, is a long essay. You think you're settling in for a relaxing recap. Instead, you find yourself skimming a tenth. Where to even start? So, all of it, basically. Oddly enough, there's no way. Have you ever met anyone more than that? They're undercapped. Thus, the so-called, and that at the end of the day, it's that, you see, one cannot avoid the conclusion that Tip Top Tourney is simply the apotheosis of spectacular entertainment under capitalism.
Oh, come on. Can this article read your mind? A certain kind of young man reads 1 or 2 books and suddenly thinks he understands the secret structures of reality. If I had to wager, I'd say they've never even seen the inside of a...
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of content. It takes... Why? The main feature, though, is that you think instead where to... So, all of it, basically. And that at the end of the day, sure, that may be true of your casual factory issue tip-topper, but you're a genuine talk dog. You practically live for the wail of those superchargers. Believe what you want, but your fascination with, in other words, it's not...
I can imagine. Something tells me there's not exactly a glut of young communists itching to write about tip-top for La Fumée. If I had to wager...
You flip back to the front of the mag... Unsurprised, you skim the... Finally, there's a brief article by the writer, G. Martin, accusing the owner of the Cape Side apartments of illegally attempting to evict certain communist tenants simply for not having paid their rent. According to these editorials, there can be no... Why do communists love... You flip back to the front of the magazine. Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out...
All right. Ready?
He's down playing it. The dashboard lights up with orange glow, like a leopard waking from the sleep. That sound, you feel down a narrow street, lined with shabby wooden... The Valley of Dogs, and before it, a familiar dome, like a ladybug without the colors. The building, this is Precinct 41. As close as you have to her, the lights unfold with a little click.
There you go. I'll turn them off from the remote once you...
As you hold your ledger's clip under the headlamp.
There she is.
Around the borders of the watermark are dozens. The rectangular watermark is overlaid with a rat brazenly done in the middle of a broken plaza. In a cone of light, barely visible in the daytime. 2 men, one slim, the other sturdy. They are on the city stage, but only one of them knows his lines.
Ah, Martinez. Let me see. Right here. No, it does not.
There are many of them, and they are divided. The first row has 18 dots. Not bad for what? You don't even... The next is the longest. You count 216 perforations. The last row, as you look at them, you feel your index finger reflexively contract 3 times. And something you'll do again before this is...
Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. They are your statistics, as it were. I should have guessed you'd keep a record. Officers often do. Let's take a look.
Alpha male officers who are proud of their numbers often do. It's meant. Son, here is where we score your life performance. You better hope it's good.
The first row represents your years of service. 18 years. Okay, not bad at all. What did you do before you volunteered? That's what it says. I might have guessed even longer based on your age. What did you do all those blissful years of your youth? Maybe you were a diplomat. This next row, the one that wrapped, wow, more than 200. It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for nearly 2 decades. Usually, clearing more than 10 cases a year puts you in the 90th percentile of all RCM officers. Call it what you want. You were a valuable member of your precinct. Now, let's look at the last row.
You know the answer already.
That's right. How did you know? Ah, right. Sometimes the brain's able to preserve certain responses even when conscious memory has been, let's say, misplaced. For an RCM officer, especially Precinct 41, which is in the Jamrock quarter, it's rather tame. I mean that in a good way.
What's it feel like to kill a man, Mr. McCoy? A young woman asked. Honestly, babe, says John McCoy, crossing his...
There are certain officers who treat their kills like some kind of ghoulish game, but it seems as though you are.
He's sincerely glad you're not a scary predator. Not to say relieved you're competent.
Yes.
It's not a problem for him to state it.
Everyone has their own method of coping. Personally, I find it helps to keep up a few hobbies. Par exemple, why not take up a sport? You've already got that fan gear.
It's meant in earnest. Please don't mistake it for a jab.
If you want to pour out the booze you've been carrying around on duty, I'm certainly not going to stop you.
A dark pool of cheap wine appears at your feet. It shimmers in the lights of the Kanema. Honorably done. You have given up some of your own blood for theirs.
Very noble of you. Are we done here?
The lieutenant nods. The rectangular watermark.
Let me... right here. It has its problems.
A rat brace in the...
Ah, let me see. Right here. Oh, yes.
All of them worse than...
Those are...
Son.
The first row represents your years of service. Yes, that does seem quite likely. This next row, wow, more than 200. It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the...
You know the answer already.
That's right. How did you know?
That's right. A kill...
For an RCM officer?
What's it feel like to kill a man? Honest.
But it's...
He's sincerely glad you're not a... The lieutenant nods.
Right. I'll go turn off the lights.
You can now see your statistics on your journal.
The stage is all... You feel a little dizzy.
So, are you ready for your thing now? Let me know when I should turn on the karaoke carousel.
The air is thick with anticipation. The tape clicks into the carousel, and then the music starts.
I would often go there, to the tiny church there, the smallest church in Saint-Saëns, though it once was larger. How the realm may rest there, down through the mist there, toward the Seven Sisters, toward those pale cliffs there. I would often stay there, in that tiny yard there. I have been so glad here, looking forward to the past here. But now, you are all alone. None of this matters. No, none of this matters at all.
Not bad.
Yes, not bad at all.
No reply. There is silence now, in the deep where the voice came from.
Okay, yes, I'm going...
Yes?
Ah, smallest church in Saint-Saëns, right? It was all right. Subdued. I might start letting people up there again. Now, what can I do for you? Another thing. Great. Yes?
Again? I can't believe this shit.
It's not my style, he thinks.
Oh, hello, dear. There you are.
You know, to hell with it. Let's have more cryptids.
Of course, officers. Is there... Yes. It's the kind green ape. Yes, it was reported by soldiers in South... Yes, it has indeed. There is... Which is to say, the kind green ape is a species with which we share a common ancestor, and that evolved parallel to our own. Just like your partners.
The lieutenant looks at you.
Oh, no, I didn't mean to imply that Saelites are inferior to us.
A tremendous evolutionary advantage, I'm sure. But perhaps we've had it.
The gnome of Jeroma. Oh, yes. None of it was a couple. It's still.
If the...
Alas, the first sign instead.
Alas. Always alas, and then it was gone. Isn't that overly convenient?
I understand your cryoback. Yes, the back Michenu disappeared shortly after. Yes.
It's actually a little hard to see, but do go on.
Yes, we can assume that she has been. I'm glad you like them.
The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste. The container sounds a muffled gong.
I'll die before I squeal, pig. I come from the...
Don't be
I'll die before... What's this kid
Get the fuck...
So it's a girl. Interesting.
I'll die before I Murder was the case they gave... I'll die before I You don't want to fuck with me. I got my hands bloody.
You can still see the top of her.
Yes? What about me? No.
Your brain sends the signal to your lips, but they refuse the order. Something is parallel. The eyebrow it's like you're locked down.
Something the matter, detective?
Goddamn right something's the matter. Lieutenant Eyebrow here thinks he can shut you down like some browless freak. Thinks you're just going to lie back and take it. Let's show him. Raise your brow high, up to high noon. Smugly, sire. Raise it smugly. Reflexes take over. The lieutenant's brow meets yours. His fierce counter nearly tears your face off. This could get ugly. Your fingers trace the edges of an imaginary hole. Now counter his counter. Put your neck into it. That's where the power comes from. The lieutenant anticipates your move, but can neither deflect nor parry your counter assault. A single drop of sweat trickles down his cheek. It's as if the entire world is frozen solid in awe of this great clash of brows. Nothing exists outside this moment. An almost imperceptible snap inside the lieutenant. His shoulders relax, his eyebrow casually descending as he tries his best to look relaxed. A graceful retreat. There, you've breached his defenses. His secrets are yours.
All right. I guess there is one thing. I have, on a few occasions, when I was young and foolish, smoked hemp.
Tetrahydrocannabinol is the psychoactive...
Yes, cannabis. The hemp. I rolled it into a small paper tube and lit it on fire. Then I inhaled the fumes. I was young. Is that enough of a secret for you?
He's waiting for a reaction. It's barely a secret. Everyone smoked hemp.
No. There are a couple of people.
There's a hint of defensiveness in his voice.
Of course. Here's my gun and badge. They'll put me in the chaise for this. But it feels good to have it off my chest.
The chaise électrique?
All I ask is the chance to close this final case, so I can go to the chaise with a clean conscience. Let's hurry. I'm living on borrowed time. Good. Let's change the subject.